We all make mistakes now and then. I've sure made my share. It's part of life. But some are bigger than others, made under the watchful eyes of millions of hockey fans. What I'm talking about in this video, not a few minor stumbles. This is a countdown of questionable calls made by paid professionals with the backing of the National Hockey League. See what happens when dubious ideas go a bit too far, and how we can all benefit from a bit of hindsight. Right now, as Aesthetics presents the top 10 NHL Brand Blunders and how they got fixed. For decades, NHL team branding has been tightly controlled. Merchandise sales are a big part of a club's revenue. That means logos, jerseys, and other brand assets go through a stringent design approval process to ensure quality. I'm not here to make fun of anyone, by the way. Marketing is far from an exact science, but it's worth looking back just to see what went wrong and how to avoid a reoccurrence. Now, before we dive in, here's that boilerplate reminder to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Aesthetics video content. Please and thank you. We start our countdown at number 10, and the Carolina Hurricanes, whose original secondary logo was often mocked for symbolizing a weaker weather system. Long before today's high-tech communications, boat captains relied on visual cues from the coast for updates on wind conditions. The National Weather Service developed flag signals which warned of storms and hurricanes. A single flag was flown amid sustained winds up to 73 miles an hour. Once a system hits 74, it's considered hurricane force, and 2 flags would fly. The Carolina Hurricanes logos were unveiled on June 16, 1997. The problem? 1 flag instead of 2. The fix finally came 20 years later, with the crest of a new third jersey that launched in 2018, now with 2 flags instead of 1. And if you look close, an Easter egg hides in plain sight. Negative space between the flags forms the shape of North Carolina. Next at number 9, Pittsburgh, 1992. Fresh off back-to-back Stanley Cup championships, Penguins owner Howard Baldwin decided the time had come to capitalize on his team's success by ditching the 25-year-old skating penguin logo and replacing it with something more modern. Designed by Vance Wright Adams, the new logo was dubbed the Robo-Penguin for its less than organic look and corporate vibe. It had all the hallmarks of good logo design: simple, scalable, distinctive, but lacked an X factor that connected with fans. The fix came in 2 waves. First, when superstar Mario Lemieux assumed ownership control of the franchise in 1999 and brought back the skating penguin with new colors. Then by 2016, the original colors and jerseys had also returned. While it may seem like the team went backwards to go forward, it's worth pointing out that it coincided with a repeat of their earlier success, another pair of back-to-back Stanley Cups. Now at number 8, a flying flop in the Sunshine State. When the Florida Panthers unveiled their new third jersey in 2009, fans were a bit baffled. The design introduced a new color, powder blue, never before seen on a Panthers uniform. Taken on its own, a weird design experiment. But put in context, it may have been a taste of an NHL uniform designed with a sponsor in mind. That's because just a few weeks earlier, the Panthers announced a corporate partnership with JetBlue, an airline whose own color palette was more than coincidentally similar to the sweaters. The fix? There was only one option. The JetBlue jerseys were retired after 3 seasons and never spoken of again. Coming in at number 7, the Dallas Stars, with a couple of fumbles. First in 2003, with a third jersey. They had an admirable goal, an extra color, and an alternate logo. It was a concept with good intentions, a rendering of the Taurus constellation, stars in the shape of a bull, an icon of Texas. So what went wrong? Well, all anyone could see was this. Leading to an unfortunate nickname, the Mooterus. After the standard 3-year run, the jersey and logo were permanently retired. But it wasn't the last time Dallas let us down. The Reebok Edge era was rather unkind to this team. The fix came in the form of new owner Tom Ghilardi, who went all in on a new logo and a new color, Victory Green. At number 6, the NHL's bad bet on sublimation. I'll let Dan Simon explain.
The NHL came to us with a manufacturing process that did not exist before. And now we're familiar with it. It's called sublimation, or more specifically dye sublimation, which allows you to print all kinds of stuff that you couldn't do with hockey sweaters before, where you had to have cut out tackle twill and things sewn on, and you could do color breaks, but they had to be separate pieces of material. Obviously, sublimation was just like printing, and it gave them the opportunity also to do gradations. And so when the NHL came to us, it was with the directive to put gradations on every third jersey we were doing. And I did not like that. And what I said is, just because we have the technology to do something doesn't mean we should use it. And I basically divorced myself from that process. I was the creative director. I wasn't quitting. I just said, you know what, let somebody else oversee this, because I didn't think they should do it. Now, it's not for me to decide what clients do, but I just thought it was a bad idea. And that was done with me basically turning a blind eye to it.
Well said, Dan. Let's move on. We're halfway through our countdown of NHL Brand Blunders, and at number 5, a pair of misguided rebrands from Buffalo. The Sabres joined a collection of clubs trading classic logos for trendy ones in the 1990s. This one was nicknamed the Goat Head for fairly obvious reasons, and it wasn't exactly well received by fans, who preferred the blue and gold over the black and red. After a decade of complaints, the team finally listened, agreeing to bring back blue and gold, but not royal blue, navy blue for some reason. And the new logo? Fair or not, it was labeled the Slug for its unfortunate resemblance. Truth is, this logo design, taken by itself, isn't that bad at all. The problem was what it symbolized to fans, and what it replaced. This time, the fans campaigning against the rebrand were numerous and unrelenting. The Sabres needed a fast fix. 2 years later, a new third jersey was introduced to smooth things over, but it wasn't enough. Buffalo fans wanted the original logo back full-time. The best the Sabres were willing to do was dump the Slug in 2010, but the navy blue and silver stuck around. A decade later, in 2020, the team delivered the final fix, a return to royal with jerseys that, while not direct throwbacks, more than satisfied a long-suffering fan base. Next at number 4 is more of a troubling trend: colloquial nicknames decorating the front of a hockey sweater. It started in 2008 with a new slate of third jerseys from Reebok, expansion cousins Ottawa and Tampa Bay with SENS and Bolts word marks stretched across their chests. The nickname trend came back around in 2019 when the Carolina Hurricanes debuted a new road jersey. As the Canes demonstrate, this particular problem has yet to find a fix. The New York Islanders could probably land on this list a few times, but I'm condensing their blunders into number 3. In 1995, the team emerged from a lockout-shortened season with the unveiling of a new logo, meant to replace what had been worn for almost 25 years and 4 straight Stanley Cups. Oh yes, the Fisherman, who shared more than a passing resemblance to a certain frozen food mascot and was quickly nicknamed Fish Sticks. If the logo wasn't enough to drive fans crazy, they could always complain about player identification, with name bars and numbers that followed the curves of the jersey's bizarre striping. In fact, fans complained so much that the Fisherman was unseated in the middle of his second year, and the rest of the uniform was gone another year later. By 2011, the Islanders were back to their original colors and logos, but just couldn't leave well enough alone. They launched a new third jersey, in black, no logo, and a number on the front. A lot of bad ideas went into this one. After serving out a 3-year sentence, it was replaced by the club's 2014 Stadium Series jersey, another widely disliked design. And to complete the trip-up trifecta, yet another black third jersey launched in 2015, a supposed nod to Brooklyn, where the Islanders had started playing their home games. But to be fair, their follow-up third jersey, launched in 2018, finally made some strides in the right direction. Number 2 is the NHL Stadium Series. It's not a bad idea in theory. Futuristic one-off jersey designs for an expanded slate of outdoor games seems like fun. The problem was all in the execution. The NHL released chrome logos for all 7 teams taking part in the first ever Stadium Series in 2014. The result looked like someone just learning how to use the emboss effect in Photoshop. Things only got worse when we realized those chrome crests would show up on the jerseys too. But one team rebelled. Lou Lamoriello and his New Jersey Devils would have no part of the chrome jerseys and made their Stadium Series appearance wearing a wildly popular throwback sweater. The following year, the NHL still hadn't learned from its mistake. The 2015 Stadium Series jerseys featured team crests with a weird carbon fiber texture. By 2016, the league started to rein in the madness, leaving the Wild and Blackhawks logos untouched, while creating something new and kinda cool for the Red Wings and Avalanche. No question, Stadium Series jerseys are not for everyone. These designs can be a little out there, but we can probably all agree that gimmicky logos will never be in style. Well, here we are, the number 1 brand blunder in NHL history. It happened only about a decade ago, but you've probably already forgotten about it.
The most extraordinary superheroes ever assembled are about to face the world's deadliest villain.
The Guardian Project was a collaboration between the NHL and Stan Lee, in which superhero characters were established for all 30 teams. Unsurprisingly, it failed to find an audience, probably due to the lack of any genuine creativity or originality. Each hero was named simply for the team it represented, was devoid of any personality, and employed a host of random superpowers aggregated from existing characters in the Marvel Universe. A slow build-up culminated at the 2011 All-Star Game in Raleigh, with a ridiculously bad animated cinematic of a battle that pitted all 30 heroes with powers that know no equal,
Their powers know no equal.
against a single villain that easily dispenses with all but one, the Hurricane. Because of course the Hurricanes were hosting that All-Star Game. Developed at a time when the Marvel Cinematic Universe was starting to pick up steam, the NHL apparently thought this was the way to attract young, new hockey fans. In the end, it was an absolute farce. Ridiculous from start to finish. A graphic novel was released, and though I don't know how many were sold, the fact that the project was abandoned at light speed should give us some idea. There was no fixing this. The NHL Guardians were defeated swiftly and never heard from again. So there it is, my top 10 NHL brand blunders. Are there any you think I missed? Which ones would be on your list? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching the Aesthetics YouTube channel. Be sure to like and subscribe, then turn on notifications to be the first to know about new video releases. That's all for now. See you next time.